The wedding ring is not Christian. The early Christians rejected it. In fact, the early church completely banned it. The custom comes from ancient Rome, and back then it wasn't romantic at all. The ring was a legal receipt. When a Roman man gave a woman an iron ring, it literally meant the dowry is paid, and this woman is now my legal property. The wedding ring on your finger isn't a symbol of Christian love. It's a literal tribute to Saturn, the ancient god of boundaries, time, and cosmic prisons. When the ancient Romans created the traditions of the wedding ring, they weren't being romantic. They were practicing astrological magic. If you think exchanging rings at the altar is an ancient biblical tradition, think again. Jesus never mentioned them, and the disciples never wore them. It's actually a purely pagan invention. By placing a metallic ring, a circle with no escape, specifically onto the sun finger, you are visually and energetically binding your freedom. You're putting your ego in cage. It's a cosmic contract that says, my freedom is now restricted by duty. The early church knew exactly how pagan and occult this ritual was, which is why they banned it for nearly 800 years. But eventually, the spirit of Saturn won, and the church adopted the ring anyway. The early Christian church didn't just dislike the wedding ring, they absolutely hated it. To them, it was an abomination. Early church fathers like Tertullian and Clement of Alexandria launched furious attacks against it. They called golden rings a pagan vanity and a shameful luxury invented by a corrupt empire. Roman wedding rings were often engraved with the faces of pagan deities like Juno, the goddess of marriage, or symbols of Saturn, the lord of restriction and time. For a first century Christian, putting on a wedding ring wasn't a holy act. It was financial branding. It was a legal receipt that treated a woman like property. For nearly 800 years, you could be banned from the church just for wearing one. But as the centuries passed, the ancient spirit of Saturn won. The church finally surrendered, baptized the pagan contract, and pretended it was Christian all along. And did you know that blowing out candles on a birthday cake is not a harmless tradition either? It's an ancient pagan ritual dedicated to a Greek goddess, and the early church considered it a sin. If you think putting candles on a cake is just a fun way to count your age, you've been practicing moon magic. The custom comes from ancient Greece, from the cult of Artemis, the goddess of the moon. Every month, her worshippers would bake a round honey cake to represent the full moon. They placed glowing candles on top to make it shine like the night sky. When they blew the candles out, they believed the rising smoke would carry their secret prayers and wishes directly up to the gods in the heavens. The early Christians completely banned birthday celebrations. They called them a dangerous pagan vanity. To them, the candles weren't for celebration. They were an occult shield meant to protect the birthday boy from demons. So the next time you make a birthday wish, remember, you're not just celebrating, you're performing a 2,500-year-old ritual to the moon. But the darkest part, it's a total inversion of biblical truth. In the ancient temple, the high priest burned holy incense so the rising smoke would carry the pure prayers of the people up to God. It was an act of feeding the fire. But on your birthday, you do the exact opposite. You extinguish the fire. You erase the light with your breath, forcing a dying stream of smoke to carry a selfish hidden wish. To understand how deep this deception goes, look at the ancient temple in Jerusalem. The high priest burned 11 secret sacred incense on glowing coals. The rising smoke wasn't just symbolic, it was a spiritual shield. It carried the collective prayers of the nation upward, bridging the gap between mankind and the divine. The ritual thrived on the power of the fire. But on your birthday, you perform a chilling inversion. You don't feed the fire, you extinguish it. You use your own breath to erase the light, forcing a dying stream of smoke to carry a hidden selfish wish. In ancient occultism, stealing a flame's energy to lock a secret desire in the dark is the core of wish magic. One ritual honors God through an everlasting fire. The other forces a dying smoke to serve your own ego.